What's up? It is Ben Sheppard here, and welcome back to another Conversation Highlights here on RunThrough TV. Remember, all of these conversations are in full on our channel as well, so do check them out. Okay, today's guest, you might have seen him at one of our events, and if not him in person, you'll have seen his name.
Most people know me as Fordy, but my actual name is Chris Ford. I'm an everyday runner, and I started Fordy Runs just over 5 years ago, bringing everyday runners together. And we're now, it's gone a bit berserk. So we're now one of the biggest clubs in the country. We've got a YouTube channel, award-winning podcast, and all that kind of stuff, really. And it's grown like to another level that I can't believe. And I'm incredibly proud of it. But more importantly, I'm incredibly proud of the people that are within the community and club that we've built.
I mean, the growth is quite remarkable. And in the space of just 5 years, Chris has gone from a new running club, establishing it, to being one of the biggest in the country, which is absolutely unbelievable. But how did it all start?
I got into running to lose weight and whatnot, and for my mental health. I suffer with ADHD. I didn't know that back then, but I was diagnosed, and the running really helps me, and all the things that go along with that. But back then, so part of that is that you suffer with anxiety. So the reason I say that is because I got a place in the London Marathon. It was always a dream to do that, because my brother-in-law, who inspired me to start running and helped me start running, he did the London Marathon. So I wanted to do it, and then I got to that event. And again, as somebody who suffers with anxiety, I was sort of sitting there in Greenwich in the Red Start, and like looking around me, and everybody was kind of thinking and feeling the same thing. And I was just like, why is no one talking to each other? There was obviously some select people sitting there talking, but nobody was talking to each other. Nobody was having fun, and it's meant to be a really fun, enjoyable day. And I was, to say, riddled with anxiety, and that sort of carried on, for the first part of the race and stuff. So I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to bring people together like me, like just normal people, like dads and mums, and as I say, everyday runners who are just out there, whether they're running for mental health or weight loss or whatever it is, right? And bring them together, put them in a community together, so we can share and we can support each other.
From that point then, standing on the start line of London, did he ever think we'd get to this point with 40 runs? And did he ever think that he'd do another marathon? When
I completed that, and like as I said, I was riddled with anxiety at the start. I just thought to myself, I didn't probably get the most out of that experience. So let me think to myself, do I want to do that again? Yeah, probably, because I've learned a lot, and hopefully this time I think it's anybody who suffers anxiety, when you've done something once, you don't fear it as much, and you get that understanding of what's coming your way. Even silly things like I've done London. How many medals? I've got 5 London medals now, but every time I've done it, it's like it's always breaking those mental barriers as you go through. I had a panic attack at 6 miles one year, and then I had a mental block up at Mudchute for a couple of times. It's just, and that's just the way my brain is. Yeah. But eventually I beat that, and this year I ran through it, and I think it's probably my cleanest race in terms of, and the most enjoyable race, because I didn't have any of those hang-ups, and it took me that many times to run it. But yeah, looking back, no, I never thought that I would run it as many times as I've done, or done as many marathons as I've done, or got to where we've got to with 40 runs, and being that sort of what it is. It's crazy. Honestly, it blows my mind.
And I don't know if you've had this, but I certainly have, of a friend that said they'd never run, getting bitten by the running bug and just falling in love with it. And that is a feeling that 40 is all too familiar with.
It is powerful, and you see people develop, and they get a taste for it as well. Got a great group down in Southend. They had a load of people do the couch to 5k, and then all of a sudden they're signing up for 10k's run-through events, and they come through, and all of a sudden marathons. And it's like,
yeah.
through the whole journey, and it's like, and now they want to get a bit faster, or they want to do this, or they want to do that, and they're so ingrained with it all that it's taken over their life. And I think anybody who's a runner, you can relate to that.
It's pretty obvious by this point that 40 is incredibly passionate about people affiliated with 40 runs as well. But him himself, let's talk about his personal running goals and his personal running journey. He's just come off a shiny new PB around the 3:39 mark in London. So what's next?
Well, I stupidly opened my mouth and said that I want a Boston qualifying time. And firstly, I was inspired by Hayden, who's one of our long run show podcast hosts, a good mate of mine, one of our satellite champions, does a lot for the club. But he ran a Boston qualifying time. He ran 3:17, which, and I thought, you know what? Actually, that was quite impressive. And then he gave me a bit of a kick up the butt and said, look, Fordy, you've got to stop mucking about here, because you are faster than you believe you are. If you stop filming stuff and, jumping into the crowd, you might actually, be able to do what you probably could do. And again, I say it, people still come. I don't run for times. Okay. I quite openly say that I don't run for time. But if I can push myself and have, and the word I use is belief in myself, then the times and the experience will take care of itself. So for me, when you talk about London and the PB that I ran, it wasn't about the time. It was the experience of being able to run competently at the marathon distance. Because before, I don't think I've done myself justice over that distance. I still don't believe, I think I might be wrong with the number, but it's even 11, 12 marathons. And I don't believe I'm experienced at the marathon distance. I think it's really tough to get it right.
Yeah.
So to feel that I felt was really positive, and that then has given me the belief, not the time, but it was the way in which I performed mentally, physically on that day.
And for that person watching this now, enthused to potentially lace up their trainers for the first time after hearing all of the passion and all of the love Chris has for running, what would his message be to you?
Enjoy it. 100% enjoy it. We all get off the couch and we go, right, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to get healthy. And they all run too fast, right? So you make sure you go on the NHS website, it's free, at Bosch, get yourself out there. But enjoy the process. Enjoy the point at which you get, to that 5K. And then enjoy, maybe you want to go and do a little bit of 10K action, or you want to go along to a club like 40 Runs, or whatever it is. Or you want to go to a RunThrough event every week, because then you build friends in the community within RunThrough, a place like that, which is amazing. Whatever it is, but most importantly, just enjoy it. That's the thing I always do when I'm at races. Even at London, I stopped, in front where the 40 Runs cheer station was at mile 19, I think we are 18. I stopped there and I was mucking about because I was having fun. And I think that's the key to it. There's no point doing anything unless you're enjoying it. So if you're going to go on and start that running journey, you've got to remember to enjoy it, because it's bleeding hard sometimes, right? Some days you're just not feeling it, but just go out there and enjoy it. I always say, I make the guys laugh, but we get one go on this rodeo. Do you know what I mean? And at some point you're going to get bucked off that horse, and and that's you done. Okay. So while you're on there, enjoy the ride and have fun. That's the key point to, I think, running. I think that's what makes me addicted to it, and addicted to everything that we stand for in 40 Runs, is because we're always having fun. I can go to an event, there will be another 40 Run there, and we'll have a good time, and that's all that matters. So that's what I would say to any new runner. Just remember to enjoy it.
Big thank you to Chris once again for coming on RunThrough TV. Again, if you do want to see the full version of this conversation, you can head to our YouTube, just search RunThrough TV. They are also on a podcast feed as well, actually. If you just search Gone Running in your podcast app of choice, you'll be able to get all of the conversations, this one and loads more, with lots more incredible people as well. Today, I am going to leave the final words to Chris.
It doesn't need to be about times. It doesn't need to be about stress. About let's just have some good. Yeah, if you want to run a time, great. If you want to put a bit of a shift in, but let's try and have a bit of fun as well, right? I think that's the key to it all.